Hey friends, it's Kip Icon, and welcome to Kip Plays Limits and Demonstrations. I don't know why that was cut off like that. Limits and Demonstrations is a Kentucky Route Zero interlude. We're about to find out a little bit more about it. Just wanted to say real quick that I've been gone for a while because I lost my voice, and it is finally back enough for me to do this, but by no means is this a representation of. Ay, ay, ay. I've been drinking tea and everything. Alright. Wall text. Limits and Demonstrations. A Lula Chamberlain Retrospective. Marking the first major public showcase of her work in over 20 years, this retrospective exhibition of work by pioneering installation artist Lula Chamberlain comprises a diagonal slice through time, place, and form. The pieces on display here were individually debuted over a period of 35 years, designed in Chamberlain's various homes and studios between her beloved Mexico City and her native Elizabethtown. They represent a range of scale and impact from the intimate warmth of vertex texture fetch to the infamous visage, the latter of which requires a vertical clearance of over 30 feet. Yet these works share a confounding legacy. In each of their debut exhibitions, they were nearly impossible to install. Galleries and museums balked at the scale, power requirements, and highly skilled labor involved in maintaining these works for display. Some of their debuts collapsed under the weight of logistics, only to be successfully executed much later. And so, just as they describe the outer limits of Chamberlain's range as an installation artist, the geographical edges and vertices of her itinerant home life, and the beginning and end of her distinguished career, the works on display here also trace the extremes of our capabilities and the frontiers of our patience as both viewer and exhibitors. Are we capable of viewing these works as they were meant to be viewed? Do we even want to be? Yeah, it's always interesting to read about performance art and installation pieces that are, temporal, time-based, or logistics-wise, pretty impossible to imagine. And I'm like, who's going to maintain those? In what gallery? This is beautiful here. Title card: Basement Puzzle Number 2. Artist, Sunset, and Horse. 1976 Plaster and Wire. So these three characters down here are Emily, Ben, and Bob. I don't know which one's Ben and which one is Bob, but I think Emily is the one in the jeans. What do you think she means by puzzle? Yeah, weird. I guess it's something you can solve. They must be symbols. Artist, sunset, horse, or it's an anagram, or like a code. Or it's just a misdirection. Maybe if it's a puzzle, or maybe it's a puzzle but there's no right answer. That is kind of sad. I'm imagining that this star type sculpture shape in the center is sunset. This is strangely beautiful here. Overdubbed Namjoon Pike installation. By the way, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I've never heard it spoken aloud. In the style of Edward Packard, 1965, 1973, 1980. Magnetic tape, handheld tape playback head, speaker system, voice of the artist, computer synthesized speech. Oh, I read about this one. It's interactive. How does it work? It's a bunch of old tape, and you run this tape playback head along it and just listen to the recordings, I guess. Let's try it out. I think you start in the middle. As Bob drags the playback head along the tape, a woman's voice issues unsteadily from the speakers. We start in the middle. Donald and Joseph are in the hallway. I am in an office. The walls are lined with filing cabinets. A few drawers hang open. The door is ajar. A massive computer looms in the corner. There are some punched cards on the floor. A synthetic voice recording, spliced awkwardly into the tape, lists out options in monotone. To examine cards, rotate 30 degrees and advance 7 inches. To leave room, rotate 17 degrees and advance 4 inches. To activate computer, rotate 200 degrees and advance 15 inches. Let's activate computer. Bob moves the playback head to another strip of tape. So loud. I love it. I'm now holding two punched cards. On one of them, Joseph has scribbled a note. Caves. The other is blank. To insert caves card, rotate 11 degrees and advance 2 inches. To insert blank card, rotate 95 degrees and advance 14 inches. Let's insert the caves card. Lula Chamberlain says, "We're on a dirt trail in the park, or, well, it's not really a trail. It's a trail! It's more like a tendency. There tend to be fewer plants here on the path we've been walking." Walking sounds. So this is Donald. No, Donald is not Joseph, but Joseph is not Don. Okay, so we haven't met Donald yet in our playthrough. Now we're walking at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to mossy rock as the ground sinks into darkness. Joseph and Donald are following a rope down into the cave. They have computer equipment tied to their backs. So do I. To enter the cave, rotate 65 degrees left and advance 4 inches. That's the only choice? Yeah, that's the end of that one. So 65 degrees, 4 inches. That's the last trip. So everything's down here now. The final resting place. Don't be so morbid. So this is Okay, so Joseph is the man at the gas station. Lula, we're about to meet in Act 2. To remember a fond gesture, rotate 180 degrees and advance 23 inches. To regret a harsh word, rotate 12 degrees and advance 6 inches. Let's remember. It's morning now. I'm in the car. I'm driving to work. This is the last recording I'll make on this tape, and then I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow. And then who knows? I've been recording onto this tape for 15 years, I think. A lot of other things happened, so here is a story. When I met Donald and Joseph, they were both students, and I was in a band performing on campus. They came to my show, and then we met at some bar and had a few drinks together. Joseph wanted to impress me, so he stole a metal cocktail tumbler and gave it to me. We got kicked out, wandered drunkenly until morning, and finally ended up at a diner. And now I use the tumbler to store extra pens on my desk. I wonder if that's the same diner from the Act 1 map that was in darkness. Isn't that interesting how we can have such, an object associated with such a fond memory like this tumbler that now is just used to store extra pens on your desk. This is like not just a place to store pens, to store extra pens. So I'm almost out of tape. I guess I'll just let it run out while I drive. This game is so beautiful. So beautiful, but you don't need to hear it from me. Alright. Hey, go back a bit. Maybe we missed something. Really? We've gone so far. Yeah, let's go back. Okay, sure. Bob moves the playback head to another strip of tape. Oh, so we've heard this before. Oh, well, obviously I just asked to go back. Let's regret a harsh word, shall we? It's late morning now. I'm sitting at my desk on my lunch break. This is the last recording I'll make on this tape, and then I'll drop it in the mail tomorrow, and then who knows? I've been recording onto this tape for 15 years, I think. A lot of other things happened, so here's a story. The first time I moved to Mexico, I stayed there for 3 years and I had no contact with either Joseph or Donald in that whole time. They each thought I'd done it to spite them. Maybe I had, in part, but I don't think they ever appreciated the community I had in Mexico, or... Anyway, when I came back, I didn't call them or visit the university. I ran into Donald completely by chance at a hardware store. He asked me why I hadn't called, and I told him it hadn't occurred to me. So I'm almost out of tape. I guess I'll just let it run out while I eat. Wow. That's a very specific feeling when you run into somebody completely by chance and, you know, make small talk. And you think to yourself, wow, our relationship was so strong at some point. Why now am I reducing what I mean by small talking it? No instructions? No, that's the end of this tape strip. I don't think we ever reached this long one at the top here. Is it cheating to skip over there? I won't tell a soul. Bob moves the playback head to another strip of tape. Think of our work, our research. You'll die in these damn cold caves. And what about those men? You know they'll come back. We'll go deeper, that's all. They'll never find us. Did you hear their voices? They're not. They'll find you, but not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop! Your stupid fight is ringing through the whole damned cave. Joseph is right, we can't stay here. I'm leaving too, but I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon and I'm heading down to the zero. You'll be lost forever. But we need your voice for the machine, Lula. It only recognizes your voice. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damn machine does with it. Oh. Oh, indeed. You know, the first time I played this interlude, I had no idea who these characters were. I didn't know who Emily, Ben, and Bob were. I didn't know who Lula Chamberlain was. I knew Joseph, but didn't remember his name. And I definitely hadn't been to Xanadu. I guess this all makes sense now. For those of you who have not played through what I've played through, I'm not going to spoil anything. This is awesome. Wait. Okay. Title card. Visage, 1984. Unknown Media. What is that made of? It's a mystery. Looks like ribbon, bandages. Oh, have you seen The Invisible Man? It does kind of look like that. Slice a visage to build a visage, a puzzle to its owner. I think at one point I knew what that was from and I've forgotten. What? It's a poem I read. I think it was written by a computer. Oh yeah. I remember there was like a book of poems all written by computer. I think it's lovely. Oh yeah? What is the name of that book of poetry? It's like poems written by computer. I wonder if it only has significance to this, or I can't remember offhand. Title card: Vertex Texture Fetch, Tree, Television, and Suspended Cathode Ray Tube, 1968, Found Materials. The picture on the TV. What is that? It's a lighthouse? No, it's a weather vane, or a windmill, or something. Is it a lighthouse? I'm not really sure what that refers to. I was trying to think back to the image we see through the TV at the Marquez farmhouse, but I think that's of a quilt on the side of a barn. Oh, cool. Title card: Spinning coin, suspended, correcting for angular motion. 1976, Found Materials. Emily says to Ben, "Didn't you have one of these?" "Oh yeah, I did have an old microfilm reader like this. I got it at a garage sale. Couldn't figure out what to do with it." "That's my whole shed. Just a bunch of weird obsolete electronics I thought I might use." "At least it's not in a landfill." "Yeah, who knows what kind of chemicals they put in those things. What's the half-life on microfilm and weird old electronics? I guess everything gets broken down eventually. Man, that's almost screenshotable right there. I guess everything gets broken down eventually. Oh wait, I have to stand here to exit, I believe. Um, Really quick, we'll do one more once around to just take a look at the pieces before we leave, because I think once we exit, it's over. I was just thinking to myself, man, this is a free game. Maybe I should send this to a couple of my IRL friends and be like, hey, here's a free cool game that you can play. But I guess maybe its significance really is steeped in the story and characters of Kentucky Route Zero. I heard that, read that on the internet no less, that there was an actual physical Lula Chamberlain exhibition staged at an art gallery. I'm not sure if it was stuff. It was probably stuff like this. I would imagine. I haven't seen pictures of it, but once again, that really kind of makes you wonder what's real, which characters are based on real people, which characters are actual real people. Was Lula Chamberlain an actual installation artist? Um, yeah. Anyway, I think whenever we exit, it'll be the end of it. So thank you, France, for watching. I'm feeling like I'm feeling more like myself. I have my voice back. My voice is gonna come back even stronger. I can tell, and we'll be playing more Kentucky Route Zero ASAP. Thanks for watching. I have been, and I will continue to be Kip Icon as long as you guys continue to what? Follow your drams. Bye.